One thing I've seen over and over during my career is that companies don't usually lose knowledge all at once. They lose it a little bit at a time, kind of like a leaking bucket. You deal with an IT outage and your team gets it fixed. You plow through a project and you get it done. A problem ticket gets closed. But eventually, nobody remembers why something was done the way it was done. Now, fast forward to 6 months later. That same problem comes back, and the same team ends up solving it all over again like it was Groundhog Day. If you've ever worked in IT operations, as an example, engineering, architecture, or leadership, you've seen this happen. Someone will say, "Hey, I know we've dealt with this before," but nobody can find the details of what happened and how the problem was solved. Or the one person remembers isn't even around anymore. Now, everybody's back in detective mode trying to figure it out again. We're back at square one, and that's really expensive to you and your company, and not to mention your psyche. It's not because this problem is hard, but it's because you live this again and are going through it yet again. So, in my lab, I ran a very interesting experiment while working on AIMusubi. The idea was really simple. I take a network incident, I generate the evidence package, I generate the analysis package. Then I take all of those artifacts and I see what happens when that information gets translated into different AI interpretations. And those interpretations are as an operator, as an engineer, as a director, as an executive. It packaged and analyzed what survived, what gets lost. As I was looking at the data, what surprised me wasn't that details got compressed, and that's expected when you run it through AI. What surprised me was how closely it mirrors what actually happens inside real enterprise network environments. But not everybody has the same level of detail, and that's what we've been working on lately, where we're not just collecting information and just creating these reports and dashboards, but at the heart of all this, we're trying to preserve what was learned so the next person who's working on this incident doesn't have to start from zero and repeat the pain that the team just exited from. Everything that we're doing, this all applies to incidents, failures, recovery efforts, and attempts to be sure the answers and knowledge is still available, say even 6 months later. In my experience, I don't see strong IT teams having a visibility problem when it comes to working through incidents. There are so many tools and platforms out there today, and really deep set knowledge from the engineers who have that tribal understanding of their environments. It really is about a memory problem that's the issue. And that's one of the problems we're trying to solve here at AI Musubi. Now, that wraps up episode 5. I want to thank everybody for being here as always. Look forward to seeing you in episode 6, and mahalo.